What's up, guys? It's me, Coach Mills here, and today we're going to be breaking down the new support tier list for the mid-season patch. We've been seeing a lot of changes not only at the highest ranks of play, but in semi-pro matches like contenders. So we're going to break down all of the best and worst supports and rank them so that you know all the common strategies that are being played and what are the dominant or worst supports right now. But do me a huge solid and smash that like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and do me a huge solid and go follow me on Twitch in the links down below. And let's get into it. Now, first off, let's talk about Baptiste, a character that actually did receive quite a sizable change with his most powerful ability, Immortality Field, now bringing people down instead of to 10% to 25%. And Baptiste is just actually really good right now. We're seeing a lot more quote-unquote brawl strategies centering around Reinhardt. Even in contenders play on some maps, we're seeing it. And for the most part, Baptiste is going to be able to enable any sort of brawl, whether that's Junker Queen, Zarya, Rein, in a very, very efficient way that's great at trading out resources. He has tons and tons of healing that he outputs, and in addition to that, he provides a lot of frontline damage as well. And being able to combo things like Amplification Matrix Fire Strike, or just generally being able to sustain a dive or a brawl with Lamp, fantastic. And you're gonna allow, like, your Rein, if you play the Immortality Field around the corner and he's playing corner and he's in like a swing fight or a brawl battle, he can go crazy aggressive and get shatter very quickly and get a huge advantage that way. Baptiste is looking like he could disrupt the ever-present dive meta right now, and I think especially because Rein is better for the vast majority of ranks than playing dive, Baptiste is automatically better. And even at the highest ranks of play, Baptiste could be a nice counter pick strategy up against these dives. I do think a coordinated dive is still going to be superior than playing Baptiste, but for ranked and even some semi-high ranks of play, I think Baptiste is going to be fantastic on any of the brawl maps, any of the maps that doesn't have a lot of high ground. And yeah, I just think he's a really good pick right now. I'm actually going to put him for his highest placement I've put him pretty much since the start of Overwatch 1 in the top of B tier. I'm gonna put him here. Now, next off, we have Ana. Ana is really, really strong. She has the means to kind of completely carry and take over team fights. Nano is still one of the most versatile and best ultimates in the game. In addition to all that, the fact that anti-nade is so powerful, like, I understand that Suzu can counteract it, but tempo nades or, you know, overcharging a Suzu, still really strong. Ana has crazy high damage potential, still doing freaking 75 damage a shot, capable of 2 tapping tracers. This character is phenomenal. Like, she just does everything that you need her to do. She can carry fights. She can shut down people with sleep. She has high damage potential. She has high utility. I mean, there's so much to love about her. The only downside to her is that she's really vulnerable to a dive. And I think that there's one character that we'll talk about a little bit later that brings a crazy amount of inherent value just from living more than Ana does. We'll get to that. But still, great support, and I'm gonna put her in the A tier. I think she's great. I think she's really good. Next up, we gotta talk about Kiriko. And honestly, Suzu's overrated. I mean, Kitsune Rush is not even that good of an ultimate, and I think a lot of people are overrating this character. I'm gonna put her in the D tier. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Okay, but my real ranking is A tier, or S tier, sorry. She's nuts. Suzu's fantastic. Teleport is fantastic. You can teleport and go in with your off-angling DPS. You can go in with the dive. You can peel. You can be survivable against the dive because you can teleport around. Suzu can cancel a million ultimates, keep your team alive. You have high carry potential, high burst potential. You have the best freaking ultimate in the game. What's there to say about this character? Yeah, she's hard to play. Yeah, she has a very high skill ceiling, but she's crazy good. She's just crazy good. She is like one of the best, if not the best characters in the entire game, and it's probably going to stay like that. Now, that doesn't mean that you'll only win with her. This doesn't mean that you'll be able to access what the top Kirikos are capable of doing on the character, but it does mean that it's a character that has the means to deadlift games, has the means to hard carry games, and you can develop yourself by focusing on your cooldown usage, your positioning, your mechanical ability, and you know that once you get good enough on this character, you can hard carry and you can climb. So yeah. Next up, let's talk about Mercy. And Mercy's placement's a little bit strange because I think that pocketed DPS is still pretty good, and flying characters on some maps with a pocket is still really good. When we talk about the highest ranks of play, though, and even semi-pro play, Mercy is struggling quite a bit because there's a lot of strategies that really, pressure her out. Hit scan's really strong. Mercy's can't fly around all that much because they'll just get targeted out. Tracer's really strong. Dive's really strong. Cassidy's pretty strong. There's a lot of characters that just want to like punish out Mercies. And I still think that on some maps and some comps, Mercy's good, but it's typically going to center around like a fly character most of the time. So it's going to be kind of map dependent. And yeah, with hit scan meta, I don't really necessarily think that Mercy is as strong as she was in the previous seasons. Pocketing isn't as strong as it was in the previous seasons. And she can just get more pressured out. But the biggest reason why I'm not going to rank Mercy all that high compared to how I've ranked her in the past is predominantly because of how many top tier competitive options there are. There are so many freaking strong competitive supports right now that it's pretty hard to rank her higher than a lot of them. I'm actually going to put her here. I'm going to put her slightly underneath Baptiste, and we'll see where she eventually gets finally placed once I finalize this list as we keep going. She's not going to be one of the best supports in the game, but she's still super powerful, especially if you have a DPS that is worth enabling, worth pocketing. She can be great. I'm not saying that she's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but she's just not as overpowered, I would say, as she's been in previous metas. Now, let's talk about Lucio. Lucio kind of in the Baptiste camp where Lucio can enable a brawl. He's pretty much needed. If you're playing a Rhine brawl, you're playing a Jungle Queen brawl, even if you're playing like a Zarya, you pretty much always want a freaking Lucio. Like Lucio just enables those compositions with speed. Beat is still one of the top two. I think Rush and Beat are like the top two ults in the game. Beat is still really great. And of course, Lucio can still play with a dive. Now, there's some supports that he doesn't really pair really well with. Doesn't really pair well with the Zen. Doesn't pair well with the Brig. Doesn't pair well with the Mercy. But I think Lucio Kiri's good. Lucio Ana's good. Lucio Bap's good. Lucio Moira's good. Like, there's a lot of good support duos with this character. And yeah, I mean, on any of the Brawl maps, any on the Dive maps, I think you could definitely like justify playing it. And yeah, I'm gonna say that he deserves bottom of A tier. I think he's a bit more flexible than Baptiste is, but still provides a lot of utility and power in the compositions that he's played in. Now, let's talk first about Brig. I want to talk about Brig first, and I think that Brig and Zen kind of go hand in hand because there's compositions that are being played that play both of these, which speaks to the power level of Zen because Brig is played primarily because of Zen. But Brig is actually like a really good anti-dive strategy right now. Really great against, Hammond. Really good at preventing a lot of these dives that are coming in. Even characters like Diva get CC'd away. Winston, the continuous Inspire. I think that Brig does start to suffer a bit when you're playing them against like characters like Cass or hit scans or fly characters, because you got to think about it this way. You can't really run a brawl with Lucio Brig. I mean, you can, but you die so easily to the pure volume of damage that can come out, the inability to heal up all the damage coming through. You could lose the attrition war that way, as opposed to having such high burst healing with like Morvera or Bap. You don't really see that with Brig. And if you're playing a brawl composition without Lucio, you're really selling yourself short. Now, I think that Brig might even be better in ranked, like just regular ranked, especially in the metal ranks, because players aren't utilizing speed correctly anyways. But yeah, there is like a downside, like a legitimate downside to the character. But the plus side of Brig is that you can play bodyguard for like many characters that if they just get to exist uninterrupted, they get to carry. Cassidy, freaking Ana, Zenyatta, like you keep these characters alive, you peel the things that want to kill them away, and you're gonna win the game because of it. So she still plays that bodyguard role really well. I'm not entirely sure at this point how good she's gonna be at like the semi-pro level. We have seen a little bit of her, but not really all that much. I think she's still good though. I think she's still strong. I'm putting her at the bottom of B tier. I could probably justify moving her up and down this. I think it's kind of close, probably depending on like the ranks we're talking about and depending on where exactly the list is, like what SR we're talking. Are we talking GM5? Are we talking GM1? Are we talking Pro Play? She could be varied. I think that up until like the highest ranks of play, like the top like Pro Play, I think that she's actually better than these characters. But yeah, I'm gonna put her here. I think this is fair. I think she's about the same power level as these characters, so this is where I'm gonna place her for now. Let's talk about Zenyatta. Okay, Zenyatta is, I think, the most slept on character in the entire game, because as we play more and more Overwatch 2, it becomes clear just how absurd Discord is when there's only one tank. Like, it's completely freaking absurd. Give Zenyatta that CC as well, and Zenyatta just becomes like a complete god. Like, I understand that Zenyatta is a glass cannon. He can die, he can get pressured. There's a lot of things that want to kill him. But if you can just live, and it's not just you, if you can live and your team can enable you to live, you just deadlift games on Zen. Zen brings so much value. Perma Discord, the enemy tank, you win every poke battle. Ramattra v Ramattra, Zen breaks it open. Sigma v Sigma, Zen breaks it open. Ryan v Ryan, Zen breaks it open. Every mirror, he breaks it wide open. An enemy diver, a Hammond jumps in. He's discorded, he gets fanned and stuck by a cast, he can die. Discord is absurd. It's so powerful. I've been like just playing Zen, you know, like support is one of the roles that I've been grinding as Zen, and I just ranked up freaking to GM3, like not even doing anything amazing, literally just existing and discording. It's so freaking powerful, and we're seeing Zen in pro play, we're seeing Zen in contenders, we'll probably see Zen all over the World Cup. We're in Zen meta, baby. He's so freaking strong, and we're gonna see him as the linchpin of a ton of compositions. Oftentimes, it's how well can you shut down the enemy Zen? Can you force that Zen off Zen? If you can't do enough to force him off Zen, you allow the enemy Zen to exist, and you don't have a Zen, right? Your tank is at such a disadvantage in the matchup in ranked that you're just gonna lose the game. So it's kind of a game of, can we out pressure this Zen? How do we do it? We play characters like Tracer. We put pressure on him. We punish the other support. We do a million other things, but we can't allow the Zen to exist. Like, Zen is secretly the strongest character in the game. Like, he is so freaking strong. I'm telling you, don't be sleeping on this character. If you want to climb, learn Zen. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Zen's insane. He's insane. I'm putting him at the top of S tier, just under Kiriko. I think Kiriko is a bit more flexible in the comps that she can play in. Like, you're not gonna play freaking you're never gonna play freaking Zen in like a brawl. Like, it's not really gonna happen. But you could play Kiriko in a brawl. And yeah, I think that like, he's just insane. I'm putting him at the top, and it is what it is. Moira. Now, before I would put Moira all the way down here. This is where I would have placed her. However, because of Brawl being played, I think that as an anti-dive strategy, and we're seeing a little bit of that at the high ranks of play even, like, Lucio Moira is still decent. I think with the new change to Baptiste is just going to be better for Brawl the majority of the time. But Moira has some extra benefits, you know, being able to sustain, have the extra bit of mobility, and even pivot and be a little bit aggressive at times. I also think that Moira's ult is a bit better than Amplification Matrix, although with the combos with Ryan, it's kind of close, I would say. But yeah, I do think that the character is still pretty strong, and I'm going to put her right there. I think that this is probably where I would place everything. I think that B tier, like I said, could be mixed around, but I think all of these are on the same tier. These are definitely on the same tier. And then, like, these are, like, far and away, I think, the strongest. And yeah, this is my de facto definitive support tier list. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my takes down below. Smash the like, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and let me know your underrated support, and I'll see you next time.